Good morning, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101, and I just had to take the time to talk to you guys about how the message is being killed because everyone is essentially going after Ice Cube. Now, I'm talking about across the board, entertainers like D.L. Hughley. There's been some other ones that I failed to mention their name, but nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're losing point of what this topic is really about. I think we're losing focus about what's actually going on. This is about money. This is about resources. This is about funding. Why are we continuing to kill the messenger, but not the message? Anyone ever heard the term? I mean, unless you saw the movie 300 with Sparta, he's like, hey, I'm just a messenger, but it's the way that you actually say the message. And Ice Cube has been on code from day one. Now people are spewing things like, Trump is in bed with Ice Cube is in bed with the Trump campaign. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I showed this on my channel many times ago. He put out the contract with Black America to whoever will listen, and both political parties contacted him, both the Democrats and the Republicans. The Democrats told him, we'll speak to you after the election. Then I'm hearing a lot of, paid trolls out there. I'm hearing a lot of Sambos out there saying, well, they're not in a position of power. Now, again, I want to point out, I know a lot of you guys are absolutely intelligent, and every presidential candidacy, what do they come out and say? My first 100 days, I'm going to do this. Why are they doing that? Why do they tell us that? For us to vote for them. They don't say, hey, listen, vote for me, and then we'll talk about what I can give you afterwards. When has that ever happened? I want you guys to be very, very intelligent about your vote. If you vote. Me, I'm not voting because I agree with Ice Cube 100%. The contract with Black America are tangibles. The contract with Black America are reparations in a sense. But I'm tired of these paid for Black hopeful Democrat trolls, these boule people out there pushing this agenda that there's actual tangibles in the Joe Biden's plan. That is absolutely false, ladies and gentlemen. I went over the plan a couple of times on my channel here, and we looked at it. It had all the key terms to take away reparations from Black Americans. It had minorities. It had diversity, urban, people of color, etc. We have to understand the trick bag. We have to understand when people are not talking to us, they're talking at us. And I'm tired of people killing the messenger by way of killing the message. Okay, they're trying to kill the messenger by the way of killing the message. The message is the contract with Black America. If you notice, every time Ice Cube is up on someone's platform, what do they talk about? What are the questions? They're not talking about the contract. They're talking about, oh, well, you went to go talk to the Trump campaign. He said, yeah, both of them contacted me, and the Trump campaign said they want to take some of the things out of the contract with Black America and put it into the platinum plan. Well, don't you know how that looks? I don't care. Ice Cube said, I don't care how it looked. Long as my people get something, I don't care where it comes from. Then someone brought up a very great point on the channel I was watching earlier, that Malcolm X, that we all know and love, he went to go talk to the Ku Klux Klan back in 1961. And then someone said, well, Ice Cube is not comparable to Malcolm X. You kill the messenger and not the message. Okay, I believe Ice Cube is not comparable to Malcolm X, but the contract with Black America is comparable to Malcolm X and what he wanted for us. See, this is the thing, how they kind of do the bait and switch. They dangle Ice Cube over here while we forget about the contract with Black America that holds tangibles. But then they say, well, Joe Biden has a comprehensive Black American plan. I was watching Roly Poly Martin today, and I was totally just getting really, really upset about all the crap he was saying about Ice Cube and how he was comparing the Platinum plan against the Lift Every Voice plan. And then when it came to Ice Cube's plan, he like, oh, well, the Congressional Black Caucus actually had something for Black people. No. When did Black people know about this plan? It's called HR 40. When do we know about this plan? See, and here's what somebody else agreed with me on, that when you're trying to do something for Black people, are you going to let us know? Now, let me ask you this question before I play this sound clip for you guys. Let me ask you this. Have you noticed any Asian people being pandered to? Have you noticed them going around getting Asian basketball players, Asian tennis players, Asian golf players, pandering to the Asian community? Tell me why the Democrats or Republicans do not pander to Asian Americans. Why they don't pander to Indian Americans. Why they don't pander to Native Americans. They slightly pander to Hispanic Americans. But when they pander to us, guess who they use? They use comedians because they want to keep us laughing because Black people love to be entertained. They get the athletes like LeBron James. They put his name and blast his name out there to overshine what Ice Cube is doing. Oh, Ice Cube is a rapper. And he told people this many a time. It's not me just writing the contract with Black America. I have got experts in the field of economics and finance and reform to help me write this contract with Black America. But see, here's the thing. The only thing that you and I have to do, family, the only thing that you and I have to do is shut the fuck up and sit back. That's all we have to do to understand what Ice Cube is doing. See, we got all of these intelligent Black people on Roland Martin's show and MSNBC and CNN talking against the contract with Black America, talking against mainly Ice Cube. See, they want to kill the messenger. No. But they don't want to kill the message because they understand that the message is where the tangibles are for Black Americans. If you go over to Joe Biden's website, and he has an agenda for Indian Americans, not Native Americans, okay? Indian Americans that are from, like, people from India. He also has an agenda for the Jewish community. I want you guys to go and read it. And read, you see the word minorities. Read if you see the word people of color. See if you see the word diversity or urban. These key terms to take away resources, opportunities, access, and reparations from Black Americans. But when you go to the Lift Every Voice plan, Joe Biden's Black America plan, you see words like people of color 8 times, minorities 19 times. Where do you think these resources are going? Talking about he's going, and then I heard again Roland Martin talking about, well, he's going to extend the minority this. He's going to extend the minority that. Roland Martin is an intelligent brother, so he should know that when you stop using the word Black people and African Americans and you replace it with minorities, it's going to everybody else. Everybody else can be considered a minority. Hispanics, Native Americans, Indian Americans, Jewish, white women. Okay, so everybody else can be considered a minority. That is the problem, that we have these so-called intelligent Negroes on TV buck dancing for their Democratic slave master and also Republican slave master because they want a position, they want a job, they want some ancillary parts where they can do talking pieces and write books and do all this other bull crap rather than support the Black narrative and Black perspective and the Black agenda. Because here's the thing. The reason why you don't see no other race on TV, every now and again, you'll see an Asian pop up. Every now and again, you see a Hispanic person pop up. That is because they're getting some form of resources and funding. Their lobbyists have done a great job to say, when you think about it, family, I want you to think about it like this. Asians are what? 6% of the population. They don't have enough voting power to sway the election. Again, they don't have enough voting power to sway the election. Now, Hispanics are 16, 17%. They have enough voting power to sway the election. So why aren't they pandering to the Hispanic community? Because they already have an Hispanic agenda that gives tangibles to Hispanics. Now, when it comes to Black people, why do they have to continue to pander to us, but in their Lift Every Voice plan, they supposedly have tangibles? Because they don't have tangibles for Black Americans. They have tangibles for minorities. Now, Cube has been on all these platforms. Two things. It depends on what platform he's on. Some platforms who are B1, they're on code. So he's explaining the contract with Black America. Two, those who are trolls paid by the Democratic Party in some sort of like slush fund, they probably, hey, look, man, you get Ice Cube on. I kind of want you to debunk the whole, if he's with Trump or not. Let's just kill that. Let's just stay on that. Don't talk about the contract with Black America, because that's a real contract with Black America written by some real scholars. But let's just kill the image of Ice Cube. And as we kill the image of Ice Cube on all these different platforms, that people that look like us, but it's not for us, because they hate Trump so much. Oh, Trump's a racist and Trump's this. Okay. Are you giving Biden a pass on his 1986 and 1994 laws that incarcerated majority of Black people? Are you taking away that he want his kids to ride on a bus with Black people? And here's another thing. Did you guys know that the funding during that time, the funding that those part of those plans was $13 billion. So those convicts, okay, because you understand this, when you have a felony, you can't vote. You can't vote. So we have to put this in perspective, ladies and gentlemen. We have the 1986 anti-crime bill was mostly affected Black Americans. Then we have the 1994 crime bill, which mostly affected Black Americans. Then we had the 3-strike law that mostly affected Black Americans. And then they said you can't vote. Well, help me out, family. You mean to tell me if I serve my time, I come out, I no longer have citizen rights to vote? Why is that? This is all by design. This was all by design to make Black people illegitimate and having the right to vote, because they understood if we over-police Black communities, if we take away resources, if we take away funding, we don't let them build businesses. We limit their business. And the ones that say, okay, we can't fight against this. He has a 750 credit score, so let's give him a high interest loan. Let's give him an ARM, okay, an adjustable rate mortgage. So we can get them out of their houses. Do you understand, family? This is by design. This is by design. And I'll get some people every now and again, well, how do you know that the 1994 crime bill, does it say Black people in the crime bill? Listen, these white supremacists understand, family. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They know that if I take away resources and funding from the Black community, what else are they going to do except crime? What else are they going to do? If you take away everything I have, how will I support myself? How would I support my family? I got to do something if you're taking away all my opportunities. Then you'll have your Black boule, your Black bootlicks out there talking about, well, I pull myself up from my bootstrap. Oh, well, whippity-doo, you sold out yourself. You sold out yourself with your white slave masters. So let's get into this clip, because I don't want to go too long. I don't want to get you riled up, because I'm tired of this brother, Ice Cube, being attacked on all these different platforms. And guess what? The only thing they have to do is shut the fuck up and just sit back and wait for reparations. If you don't want to support it, if you don't want to project it, if you don't want to show your allegiance, if you don't want to show your unity of us being together, then shut up. You might just get something. You might just get something if you shut up. See, that's my thing. Why do we have people attacking Ice Cube? Because he sat down with some administrators from the Trump campaign. He didn't sit down with Donald Trump. He sat down with some people, okay, I believe over a Zoom call, and talked about the contract with Black America, where the Democrats said, we'll talk about it after the election. And then you got all these other Black trolls out there. Well, they're not in a position of power. Hold up. Do you have to be in a position of power to sit down with me and show you what my people want in order for us to vote you into office? So you want us to vote you into office, and then then you'll sit down with us and talk about tangibles. Well, family, listen to this. Have you ever been to a car dealership? Have you ever been and you bought a new car or used car? And they say, you know what? Hey, we're going to give you the car and you just can pay us when you want. We're not going to run your credit. We're not going to get a loan. This pay us when you want. That is the same thing. You have to invert that, okay? Invert that, meaning we're going to go ahead and give you our vote, Democrats. We're going to go ahead and give you our vote, Republicans, and we're going to just wait to see what you do for us. Now that they have the position of power, you know how they can display us time and time again, family. You know it. I know it. That every 4 years, this comes where they pander to black people and then they kick us out of the car when it's already done. Once they get their position of power or they won of their laws, they don't talk to black people, do they? Do they? When Hillary Clinton was running for president against Donald Trump, it had all this pandering black people. As soon as the Democrats lost, you haven't heard from the Democrats in 3.5 years. You're now just hearing from the Democrats again. See what I'm talking about? And Ice Cube brought up a good point. Brother Ice Cube brought up a good point. He said there's been over 7,000 politicians in office, and they have done nothing exclusively for black people. I'm paraphrasing. I don't want to take his word out of context. I'm paraphrasing. I'm putting a little bit me on it. Because this is the problem, ladies and gentlemen. We continue to go out there. I'm seeing people taking pictures of themselves voting, and then I just want to know, what are you voting for? What are you voting for? Like, what's on the table for black people? See, Asians, Hispanics, Jewish, Indian, they already have what they want. That's why they don't need to be pandered to. They just sitting back waiting for new legislation. That's it. But for us, we get nothing. So let me not bore you with this, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just play my clip. Let me play my clip. Let me know if it's if it sounds distorted, okay? Let me know if it sounds distorted.
Well, I spoke to more than Maxine Waters. You know, I spoke to Congressman Cedric Richmond, also Simone Sanders, who's I think the senior advisor to Trump. Not to Biden. And you know, last night I had a great conversation with Karen Bass. So I've been talking to a lot of different people, and you know, from the general campaign, it was basically, you know, let's holler after the election. There's a lot of things going on. We just want to win, get in, and we could talk about this during the transition and things like that. So, you know, I had wished they would push their policy a little bit, because I think there's things in the contract for Black America that's missing in Biden's plan. So, you know, they didn't, and I just took it on face value and said, okay, we'll see what we'll do with them after the election. But I still continue to push the contract with Black America, because there's more than just government that needs to step up. There's private industry. So as I was going after the private industry, the Trump campaign contacted me. Now, I've never met Donald Trump a day in my life, and never been to the White House. So I met with some of his people, because they said, we've seen the contract with Black America, and we'd like to pump up our platinum plan. So what I was there to do was make sure that the money was up, and that the money was getting directed to Black people. Some things they did, some things they didn't, and that's just what happened. And I told everybody when I put the contract with Black America together that I'm going to talk to both sides, and I don't know why they didn't believe me. But that was my plan from the jump, because I know, and what the country needs to know, is that this is a bipartisan issue. Well, I mean, if they see that my name is being used, then, you know, you got to use that as, you know, part of your decision making. You know, I understood no matter, even if I went to go meet with Biden himself, that it would have been used. You know, both campaigns will use whatever they can to try to get a foothold on the voters, but you still got to be smarter than that. You know, I told the Trump campaign that nobody's going to believe that he's going to do it unless he do something big before the election. You know, nobody's going to believe him. So, you know, they didn't do nothing big before the election. So, you know, what I don't understand is, you know, me going in there and telling him, yo, you need to do better. Just like I would have did Joe Biden. I don't understand why that's a problem.
I don't understand why
people
it's
are
a problem
falling in line with.
See, he was talking about both political parties, and he even told the Trump campaign family, he told the Trump campaign, no one's going to believe that you're going to do anything. Okay. And what he's saying, he would have said the same thing to the Joe Biden campaign. He don't understand why there's a problem, why he's putting himself on the line. Ladies and gentlemen, Ice Cube is worth over $200 million. His family is already generational rich. Okay. He is not doing this for himself. He even said it. I'm not going to get 1/4. He's worth over $200 million. He's rich. His kids rich. Their kids will be rich because he's still building businesses. He's doing it for us. He don't understand, and I don't understand, why do some of these Negroes out here, some of these baby boomers in their 60s, late 50s, 60s, and 70s, oh, let us go out and vote. Have you been voting all your life? And why are you still living in the ghetto? Why? Why are you still... Let me let the brother finish.
These headlines and having this picture of, you know, Ice Cube done sold us out. Hell no, I'm trying to get a check. I ain't trying to sell nobody out. I'm trying to make sure money get in the hands of, you know, not minorities, not people of color, not diversity, not urban, but black people, actual black families, ADOS, American descendants of slaves, people who actually built this country. We need to make sure the money get in their hands. If not, we're gonna still have the same problem over and over again, no matter who's the president. I mean, you know, you're gonna have to look for yourself. You know, both of them are their own plans. The platinum plan is not my plan. My plan is the contract with Black America. So they've taken some things from that and enhanced their plan. Like I said, you're gonna have to coincide. Look, I'm not gonna do that homework for you. It's a few things they took in there. You're gonna have to just do that work yourself because it's a nice chunk of things that they did. You know, I'm not here to push anybody. I'm just saying
he's not here to push anybody.
They took from the contract with Black America. Anybody can take from the contract of Black America. It's our contract. Any company can look at that and say, Q, we want to enhance our program.
See, this is the problem, family. There's a lot of people out there that believe that Ice Cube is being used by the Donald Trump campaign. See, what people fail to tell you is that when he released the contract with Black America back in August, it's taken people up to this time to get notice of it. And they both reached out to Ice Cube. Ice Cube didn't reach out to him. And of course, any political party, okay, we understand how politics works in this country. If the Democrats would have sat down and say, hey, we have this Lift Every Voice plan, can we take some stuff out of that plan and introduce us to the Lift Every Voice plan? And Ice Cube would have been sure. Then the Republicans would have been saying, oh, Ice Cube is working with the Democrats about his contract with Black America. Let's see how that turns out. They would have twisted the narrative then. So on this part, the problem is majority of Black people, somehow we just automatically born into being a Democrat, okay? Some of us, it's kind of like religion. It's kind of like religion. Majority of African Americans, majority of Black Americans are what? Christians. You grew into Christianity, majority. Some of you transferred over, but a lot of Black Americans just grew into Christianity because their mother, their father, their grandmother, their grandfather, all these different centuries and generations, our family has been Christians. So that's kind of like when it comes to politics. You just automatically, because you're poor, you're destitute, you're marginalized, you live in a ghetto, you live in a hood, you live in a project, you're automatically a Democrat. Because what we was told is that Republicans are for rich people, right? Right? Here's the thing what people fail to understand. Ice Cube is willing to talk to anybody because he said this is not just a public problem, meaning the federal government. This is also a private problem. So he's willing to speak with anybody who is willing to give us tangibles. Now, think about this, family. When it came to T.I. talking to the Lords of London, that's not getting a lot of recognition, but T.I. is talking to the Lord of London, right, which was an insurance company for slaves. He said, hey, you guys need to pay homage too. You guys need to pay reparations too. And the Lords of London is actually talking to T.I. about that. No one is saying, oh, well, that was a company, that was an organization that supported white supremacy. It supported slavery. But no one's really talking about it. The reason why people are talking about this contract with Black America, and they're not trying to talk about the contract, they're talking about Ice Cube. See, this is my favorite. They love to deflect the narrative. They like to deflect what's really going on. What you and I need, what you and I is owed to, is the contract with Black America and also a check. That's the one thing that's missing, in my opinion. It's a hard-nosed check, $350,000 or somewhere in between. We can go from, let's say, 100 to 350. We can meet up somewhere in there where every 40 million foundational Black Americans should get. But other than that, all these platinum plans and the Lift Every Voice plan, they're pandering to Black people. Okay, you know what? I was looking on Joe Biden's website, and I did not see, when he was talking about Indian Americans, okay, East Indian Americans, I didn't see a curry pan. Curry. I didn't see they were talking about food. I didn't see they were talking about platinum chains. I didn't see them talking about the Indian national anthem. You see how they pander to us, family? This is disrespectful. They treat us like kids. They treat us like they're knucklehead kids. Like, you know, you're supposed to be voting Democrat. You know, right? And the Republicans are no better. Okay, I'm non-affiliated. I don't care about either side. But the reason why you see a lot of the Black media going at the Democrats is because the Democrats are the ones who come after us majority of the time because they need our vote in order to win, but they offer us nothing. Okay, it's like a burger that's nothing, a nothing burger. You don't just have bread. They talking about, well, we got to vote to have a seat at the table. What's the good of a seat at the table if you can't talk? What's the point of having a seat at the table if you don't get fed? You can just continue to get crumbs. Your crumbs are so damn small, you need a magnifying glass to see them. Why? Why do we continue to fall for these tricks by each political party?
Will you come in? We would love for you to just tell us in your words, what do these mean to you and how can they be implemented? I don't know. You know, people got to make that decision for themselves. You know, I know if you work with any campaign, they're going to use that. You know, if I were to work with Biden, they would have used that. I'm still open to work with any of them. So I don't know how it looks. I think the Democratic Party have to figure that out. They got to understand that there's still some dissatisfaction out here when it comes to Black people, especially Black men. So I think they could do more. They know they need to do more. And all they got to do is step up and do it. The thing is this, no matter who becomes the president, I'm going to go push this program on. And whether they like it or not, whether you like it or not, this is what's going to happen. You know, I can't, and we can't afford to sit back and play games and just be like on a team. We're not on a team. This is not a team sport. You know what I mean? You either get what you need or you don't. And we haven't been getting it. So we got to shake it up. I mean, you know, they can do what they want to do, but I ain't never had dinner with the president. And the thing is, if you don't understand what I'm doing, you should probably kick back and check out what I'm doing instead of talking about canceling me, because I mean, you cancel me, you cancel your damn self, because I'm one of the realest that's ever been produced in this world. So if you cancel me, you canceling yourself. So don't even try it. I'm saying just kick back, see what I'm doing. Obviously, what we've been doing ain't been working. So we need to do something different. And people got to know, I'm doing this for my nephews, man, my cousins, my uncles, my nieces, aunties, for my generation too, man. It ain't just some, rich nigga up here trying to shake things up, man. I'm trying to make things happen for real and get the money where it's supposed to go. Y'all don't like it, I don't give a damn. I don't know. I might not. I might endorse one. I might not. I'm still waiting for him to do something.
Right.
Shit, all of it is talk. And I'm gonna vote up and down the ticket. We got propositions in California. We got a DA. We got other congressional races that's going on. So I'm gonna vote. But I don't know if I'm gonna vote for the top of the ticket. They got to do something. I'm sick of all
That's right.
this.
They got to do something before you vote for the top of the ticket.
And then we act like we on somebody's team when they win, all 32 teeth shown, and we don't get shit. And I'm sick of that.
And that has been the problem time and time again, family. That last part where Ice Cube was talking about, he said that every time we vote, everybody cheesing, but at the end of the party, at the end of the voting, black people walk away with nothing. Other day, I saw a video of black people after their vote, right? They're up there, they're in line about to vote, and they're dancing and they're playing music. And I'm like, okay, so what is the party? What am I missing? Are you guys getting $100,000 check when y'all go in there and vote for Joe Biden? I mean, am I being confused? Like, I think sometimes we love to be tricked. Like, it's like time and time again. It's kind of like, you use the term insanity, right? You continue to do something over and over again, expecting different results. That has been the different results. Okay? So that's the problem. So for you guys who are not familiar with the contract with Black America, I want you to guys go get familiar with the contract with Black America, okay? In this contract, you have bank lending reform for black people. And I just want to point something out to everybody with this contract with Black America. I want you to look at the words in here. We got the word black population, race on black loans, okay? And in comparison to rates for white people. I'm just gonna go down the ticket here. I'm gonna point out certain words to you guys for you guys to pay attention and understand what I'm getting at. What's the point of this video? Because again, they're killing the messenger, but they're not trying to kill the message. See, they're killing the messenger by the way of trying to kill the message. The message is the contract with Black America. That is the message. See, that's the problem. We don't need to get behind Ice Cube necessarily. We need to get behind the message of Ice Cube, what he's talking about. Because some people think that Ice Cube sat down and wrote this contract with Black America, where this brother specifically came out many a times and said, hey, I got experts in the field, economics, finance, all these things, reform. He got these brothers and sisters together to write this contract. But see, I support Ice Cube and I support the contract with Black America because Ice Cube has always been on code. Federal Reserve and government pensions. What do you see here? Black Americans. What do you see here? Black-owned enterprises. These are the words that we need to be looking at, family. Does it say minorities? Now, on this first page of the introduction, I believe I saw the word minorities twice. Let me look into this. I saw the word minorities twice. I didn't agree with it. That's why I tell people I agree with 90% of the form. But here's a key thing I want you guys to look at. Now, he talks about a problem, how minority has been affected, okay? Then he says the contract for Black America is a concrete step towards an action plan that addresses the future stability of minorities and essential workers across the nation. Now, that's the part I disagree with. He didn't have to put that in there. But when I go back to prison reform, okay, the only thing I see are black people. The actual tangible part is black people. When I see data and credit, the only thing I see is black people. I don't see anything about minorities or people of color. That is the difference in all of these plans. That is the difference in all of these plans that I need for you guys to wake up and understand about. Because everyone's trying to discredit Ice Cube as some sort of sellout or Sambo, which is absolutely false. Stop letting mass media, stop letting those Democratic trolls to tell you, oh, he went over to the Trump campaign and now he's teaming up with Donald Trump. Family, I just played for you a video recording that told you that he doesn't assign or versus sides of any political party. The only side he's on is the black side that's going to give tangible to the black community. Prison reform. I don't see minorities or people of color. Police Reform Act. What he says here, Black America. That's all you see, ladies and gentlemen, in Ice Cube contract with Black America. Because we need to understand the word black. The word black is African American and foundational Black Americans, okay? We're synonymous in a sense. I can get technical, but for this teaching moment, we either the word Black Americans or African Americans, but when you start getting to terms like minorities, when you start getting terms of people of color and immigrants and diversity and urban, you're no longer talking about black people solely. Let's move on. I don't want to beat up there. Let's move on. Now, Lift Every Voice plan. First and foremost, it's disrespectful. I don't even like the name of it, okay? Don't pander to me. Now, let's look into this. Let's look into it. Let's look into it. Let's look at how many times he got the word minority. 19 times with the word minority. Let's go into it, family, because this is what needs to be done. This needs to be broken down. This like they haven't broken down the contract with Black America. Have you noticed that? I was watching Roly Poly Martin today, and he went in and he was talking about the Joe Biden plan, okay? And what I want to get at with this, ladies and gentlemen, when we start talking about tangibles, let me get to my first minority. It says, listen to this. Why would you do this? Stay with me. Why would you do this? Increase the opportunities. I'm right here. Increase the opportunities for African American owned businesses to obtain or participate in federal contracts, meaning fair play. That's what we're talking about, fair play. But here we go. In the aftermath of the 2008-2009 financial crisis, well over $100 billion of federal prime contracting dollars were awarded to minority-owned businesses, okay? Then we get down here, it says that him and Obama, the Obama administration, created an interagency task force on federal contracting opportunities for small businesses, which included a focus on contracting opportunities for minority-owned businesses. Again, please stay with me. Up here, African American. So far, we're good. We get inside of the tangibles. We start talking about money. We start hearing the word minority. Then it says here, including by launching the Federal Procurement Center as part of the Commerce Department Minority Business Development. Okay, let's move on. Then here's the tangible part, ladies and gentlemen. As president, Biden will build on these efforts to support the expansion of opportunities for minorities. I've done this before. I've broken down what a minority is. I've showed pictures of minorities. Minorities are Hispanics. Minorities are white women. Minorities are East Indian. Minorities are the Jewish community. Minorities are Asians. Minorities are Pacific Islanders. Minorities are Native Hawaiians. Not just black people. So why do you pander up here in the title in bold? Because they know some of us Negroes, right? Some of us dumbass people, we're going to increase opportunities for African American owned business to obtain or participate in federal contract. He doing something for black people. See, I told you, Joe Biden on code with black people. This is the problem, family. We don't read it. Because when we get down to the tangibles, it says minority. Let's read into this. Increase funding for minority business development. Wait a minute. Does anybody know the name of this plan? Does anyone know the name of this plan? The name of this plan is called Lift Every Voice, Joe Biden's plan for Black America. Anytime you put the word minority, people of color, immigrant, you already dispersed whatever resources, whatever funding the black community was going to get. I need for you guys to stop listening to Republicans, stop listening to Democrats, and go read this stuff for yourself. And that's why if you associate yourself with B1, you understand that we're holding our vote for a bargaining chip a piece of power until they actually put plans in place for us, actual tangibles. The term cut the check is not just a term, it's a reality that we all need to be behind. That is the problem, ladies and gentlemen. That is the problem. Okay, let's get into it. Now, here's the pandering again. I just want to point out a couple of them. I'm not going to go too in depth. Make sure economic relief because of COVID-19 reached the African-American business that needed the most. Wait a minute. What does it say? Reaches the African-American businesses that needed the most. Then it says right here, the first sentence, they knew that most of you guys, okay, us dumb niggers wasn't going to read the rest of it. That's what they thought. The first installment of the Paycheck Protection Program largely left out minority, not blacks, minority. Okay, that's a fact. Let's move on. Then it says here, the program is not taking into account the specific challenges that African-American business facing access and funding and complying with program and requirements. Okay, so you're stating the problem, but then it says here, the second phase set out is $60 billion for community banks and CDIFs, as well as mid-sized banks, which can better serve smaller businesses and minority-owned firms. Let's get on with the pandering. Provide African-American entrepreneurs and other small business owners technical assistance. Then it says here, reserve half of the new PPP funds for small businesses with 50 employees or less. Minority. Now, family, I know a lot of you guys are intelligent. Can you guys help me out with this? I'm going to do my best. Given 98% of all minority and women-owned businesses. This is the Lift Every Voice plan for Black Americans, and I keep saying minority. Got it. Then secondly, you say minority and women-owned. Didn't I just tell you they consider white women as a minority? Because we know minority doesn't have a sex. It's bisexual, okay? It means male and female. It's unisex. It's a unisex word, minority. But you didn't say all minority and women-owned businesses. Okay, I'll move on. Now, I went through a lot of the minority. We understand that the reparations are going to minorities and not us. Let's look at people of color. Let's see if he has that in here. Looks like he does, family. Looks like he does. Let's go back. Driving close to $30 billion of private sector investments in small business, all told, especially those owned by women and people of color. Now, last time I checked, when you say people, those people over there, aren't you talking about male and female? Now, when we say people of color, now we understand that people of color is harmonious with minority. The same groups apply. They really do. The same groups apply. Minority, people of color, same difference. People of color is everyone non-white. People of color is everyone non-white. Then they would like to say, well, minority is everyone who's non-white and people who are being marginalized. But why do we continue to see women apart from people of color? That is what I'm trying to get at. So we can't continue to be tricked by these words. I'm going to move on. People of color. The Center for Responsible Lending estimates that more than 90% of small business owned by people of color. But right here, ladies and gentlemen, what do you see? What do you see right here? African American. But why do you put people of color down here? See, they're explaining the problem that's affecting people of color. They're explaining the problem that's affecting minorities. But then when you start talking about money and percentages, now we're talking about people of color and minorities, but not African Americans. But even though this is Left Every Voice plan. Let's move on. People of color. Here we go. For example, by changing significantly high interest rates for people of color than white individuals. Okay. Exclusionary zones, people of color. Let's move on. People of color. And then we got women again. And then we also got women, disability, and veterans. We got everybody in the plan. People of color, especially for people of color. Ensure everyone vote counts. So if they're saying the black vote is being suppressed, again, if they're saying the black vote is being suppressed, and this is the Lift Every Voice plan for Black America, why we keep saying people of color and minorities? because we need to understand that these funding is not going for us. That's okay. We'll move on. President Trump's plan. Let's see. He got this portion here. President Trump's promise to Black Americans over 4 years. Okay, cool. Let's see who's involved with this plan. Let's see him. Let's see who involved with this plan. Oh, so in the Black American plan, we have immigration policy that protects American jobs. That must be against immigrants, I supposedly assume. So let's look into. Let's see if he has the word minorities in here. Let's see if, because I'm pretty sure he does, because they know they're not going to give us nothing. They know they're not going to give us nothing. Minority. Black, listen to this, family, because I'm showing you, both plans are a piece of crap. Both plans do not cater, do not give tangibles to the Black community. See, what they do is they know that we're not going to read it. That's what they think. But you and I know that we are intelligent people and we are going to read it. Black economic, up here, Black economic empowerment and access to capital. Okay, Black economic empowerment. Okay, that's kind of the B1 term. We like Black empowerment. Okay, cool. Access to capital. That means access to loans, which, again, family, we need to understand. From the year 1526, 500 years. And I'm going to tell you where we get this 500 years from. A lot of you like, hey, man, it was 300, 400, 500 years. How are we getting this from? This is a small history lesson. Back in 1526, we understand there's Spanish conquistadors. I forgot how to pronounce it, but I'll just say Spanish conquerors and Spanish explorers brought 100 slaves to the land of Georgia and South Carolina. Okay, back in 1526. That is the first proof. That is the first history of Africans being enslaved on this land. So the term that we got from 1619 and people using 1619 project, that's the most notable one, but it's not the first factual history. I want you guys to go look up 1526. 1526 in slavery, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. That is the first time slaves came to this land that we know of, North America, the United States of America, not 1619. So if you associate yourself with B1, Black First, if you associate yourself with Foundation of Black Americans, this is history that you need to put in your trick bag. This is history that you need to put in your memory bank, okay? Because we need to get away from 1619 because we're missing a whole 93 years of history. And what they don't tell you about those 100 brothers and sisters, that was the first time that a revolution, that a revolt against white slave masters actually happened. And the Native American tribe that was on the land that the Spanish conquerors tried to enslave as well and steal their land was called the Shakori. Look that up, the Shakori. Okay, so let's move on. I just want to point that out. So we were on Black economic empowerment and access to capital, okay? But again, as we start getting to the bullet form, what do we see? We see the word minority again. Grow minority-owned businesses, not grow Black-owned businesses. We need to understand what words mean. Words are very, very powerful. And if a lot of you people who read the Bible, what they say? Power and death is in the tongue, okay? Words. So you need to understand the definition of words. Grow minority-owned businesses. That is a problem. What else? Make the minority business development agencies permanent. Appoint its leader to the Assistant Secretary of Commerce level. Now listen to this. Again, fueling access to capital for Black-owned businesses. It didn't say create a Black business development agency. It says no. Make a sub office of African American affairs and engage with the private sector advisors to ensure real world plans and solutions. No tangibles. Let's move on. I'm going through it, family. Education African Americans can afford. Okay. What does that mean? Cheaper colleges. Continue to protect the vital role of historical Black college and university. Let's talk about let's talk about HBCUs for a moment. Now, if any of you guys have been to HBCUs, please let me know if I'm wrong. At a lot of HBCUs, there's a lot of non-foundational Black Americans going to that school. There's a lot of non-foundational Black Americans going to that school. There's a lot of immigrants and foreigners that may look like you and I going to that school. And I have nothing against them at all. But we understand when immigrants, we understand with people who are not naturalized citizens and foundational Black Americans, that they get some sort of support and financial aid. We understand that, right? And again, these resources, this funding goes away from you and I. That's what we need to understand. It's nothing against our brothers and sisters from the African continent, but you need to be fighting for your reparations to the European and French powers. See, the problem is we continue to diversify our funding and resources with people who are not foundational Black Americans, meaning that you can trace your lineage back. Okay? You can trace your lineage back to probably the 1870 census. Okay, that one of your parents is foundational to this country. Not that your family came over in the 60s. Not that your family came over in the 70s and you guys are part of Jim Crow too. No. American descendant of slaves. And if you do your research, not this ancestry.com, but you follow your family tree back to the 1870 census, most of us can find that we are American descendants of slaves. We cannot get this mixed up with other people because, again, we're talking about tangibles. We're talking about decreasing the wealth gap between foundational Black Americans and whites. We can't do that if we include everybody that look like us, but that they are not us. See, we understand that we have a different culture here in America. I'm a beginning in my voyage to being a Pan-Africanist. I want to connect the disconnect between the African continent, Africans, and with the Africans and foundational Black Americans here, so we can unite. Kind of the voyage that Marcus Garvey and some others were on. But when we're talking about reparations, we have to sever the tie. Like, hey, listen, you were colonized. You were colonized by the French, the Portuguese, okay, the British, and Belgium, and the Dutch. You need to go and fight for your reparations there. But when you come over here and you naturalize yourself, and then you become an American citizen, and then essentially you are an African American, but you're not an American descendant of slaves, so you're not entitled to reparations. You see what I'm getting at? Because if we continue to add to our pot, that means that what our ancestors have been coming under attack, and right after that, Jim Crow, it decreases the amount of reparations that we shall receive, where they can go to the other empowered Western countries and get their reparations. When it comes to Africa, when it comes to the Caribbean, the Bahamas, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, all of these places were colonized by the British, French, and by the Portuguese. That is where they need to go. We were enslaved in America, so foundational Black Americans, we go to America for our reparations. It's not that we have all these other people. Here's another thing I want to point out. There's a lot of traders that come from these African countries, and you see on their Twitter pages, you see on their YouTube, they're like, you lazy Black Americans just need to get up and get a job. Wait a minute, why are you over here again? Why are you over here? Because you cannot make it in your country. And see, a lot of times, instead of fighting against them, I don't want to fight against the coons that the white supremacists led over here. I don't want to get into a fight with them. If they'll listen to me, I will inform them of the atrocities that our ancestors have been going over, and we have not got paid one iota, one red cent of what our people should have been paid. See, there's countries like Rwanda, there's countries like Ghana, they're fighting for their reparations. They're cutting ties with European powers. They said, no, you're no longer going to be part of our government. See, that's the problem that we have. We're turning our backs on each other, and we are assisting mass media, white media, in killing a brother like Ice Cube. We're killing the messenger, so the message is not being heard. If you don't like Ice Cube, that's fine. Go read the contract with Black America. Okay? Go read the contract with Black America, because we continue to take our eyes off the prize. That is a problem, family. Now, this morning I was looking at the Cocktails with Queens on Fox Soul. Everyone seen the Cocktail with Queens on Fox Soul? Please go look at that interview, how these sisters, some of them, in my opinion, were trying to attack Ice Cube, aka Vivica Fox. Vivica, sister, what are you doing? You're talking about race and this. Ice Cube is talking about a contract with Black America giving blacks reparations in a sense. See, this is what white supremacy do to black people. We are in support of white supremacy. We're in support of white supremacy. When we get brothers and sisters on TV to defile, to counter a brother like Ice Cube when he's speaking nothing but facts. No one said that back in 1983 when he was talking about fuck the police. Nobody said that. But in his contract with Black America, I believe it had justice reform, police reform. Didn't it? Didn't it? No one's looking at that, are they? No one's looking at this. No one's looking at this. No one's looking at prison reform. No one's looking at judicial reform. No one's reading the contract. They're trying to kill Ice Cube. Oh, Ice Cube, he over there buck dancing with the Republicans. Family, I've been trying to make you guys aware of this, these terms that they're using. They're trying to defile our brother Ice Cube. And some of you are on board with the Democratic Party. Some of you are on the Republican Party. I'm going to tell you right now, in my opinion, black people, we should be non-political. We shouldn't be affiliated with no political party because none of them has done nothing for us. Republicans, neither the Democrats. And sometimes I'll get people on here saying, well, you know, I knew a couple of people who used the funding for black-owned businesses of the Democrats or the Republicans, and they had their own business. Well, we need to understand onesies and twosies does not help the black Americans in this country. Onesies and twosies do not help. It's 40 million of us. It's 40 million of us. So if you're saying that education reform helped two families, okay, two families out of 40 million. Okay, that's kind of like the Homestead Act, right? The Homestead Act helped out of 4 million African Americans, okay? 4 million foundational black Americans, it helped 15,000 people out of 4 million. And they said it helped black people. So if you tell me, oh, well, you know, the affordable healthcare plan helped 60 people that I know, it's 40 million black Americans. Do you know that our youth, black American youth, are anywhere from 56 to 58% unemployed? Unemployed. And this is before COVID-19. Let's just keep it all the way real. This is before COVID-19 that our youth can't even get jobs. This is the problem, family. This is the problem. They're trying to kill the messenger by the way of killing the message. See, they believe and they know if they kill the messenger and make Ice Cube look like he's a traitor or a Sambo or a sellout, then all of us are like, well, lift every voice and sing till earth and let's go vote. Hell no. Hold the vote until they offer us tangibles. Hold the vote until they give us contract with Black America. The Biden plan is a piece of crap, and the Platinum plan is a piece of crap. Let me read some of your notes, family. I ain't mean to ignore you guys. Miss Curly Girl, thank you for moderating. Also with Nolan Baptiste, I appreciate that. We got Wendell in the chat room. What's going on, Wendell? Ashley Hawkins, Grand Rising to you too, sister. Who else do we have in here? We got everybody on code. We got SK Reloaded. I'm with you 100%, family. Thank you, SK. Let's see who else we got. Lindell Moore, teach brother. Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Oh, we got Lindell Moore. He's donating. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that as too. Thank you for your donation. Believe me, all the money goes to equipment because people know I need to get better at it. Okay. Lindell Moore says Biden took our voting rights via his 1986 and 1994 bills. Facts. Exactly. As I was saying earlier, brother, people don't understand this. Okay. Let's see. We got Miss One in here. She said a real bargaining chip would have been to demand Trump to executive order one of the major points on the plan. Otherwise, an empty promise. Exactly, sister. I agree. And here's the thing. If you listen to the recording I played with Ice Cube earlier, I had a recording plan, and Ice Cube told the Trump campaign, no one's going to believe that you're going to do anything. Okay. And he said he would have told the Joe Biden plan that too. But we need to understand it doesn't matter what political party Ice Cube talked to or didn't talk to. He does not believe any of them are going to do anything until we apply pressure. We have to apply pressure. Okay. That is the key term here. We have to apply pressure. That is the issue, family. We have to apply pressure and we have to keep pressure down. We can't let these people get off the pressure. Any political party. She also says, I want to see an African-American set aside those for those government contracts. Okay. SK Reloaded said, I'm glad you're actually breaking it down. Black people need to tune in here instead of Roland Martin. You know what, brother? I was just, listen. In order to understand the enemy, you have to listen to the enemy and you have to make sure you listen. You can't just watch and be entertained by theatrics. So I'm listening to Roland Martin. He's going through today. This was today. He was going through the Lift Every Voice plan, and he was trying to compare the Platinum plan to the Lift Every Voice plan. And Roland Martin, he's a very intelligent brother. Don't get it twisted. So he know how to twist the narrative between the two plans. But he kept saying the word minority with the Lift Every Voice plan like it was a term for black. See, I listened to him to show this, and I'm seeing people in the group chat like Ice Cube's a coon, Ice Cube is this, Ice Cube is just a rapper. But no one is saying how the Democratic Party is using LeBron James. No one's saying that because he support the talking points, or they're using him as a proxy, as a face, because they understand for some reason that blacks, we just continue to agree and go along with our comedians and entertainers. The Ricky Smiley show the other day, he said that he was talking to Kamala Harris. Sorry, I keep butchering the lady's name. That she was on the phone and he was talking about how she was on the phone singing an Atomic Dog. And see, Ricky Smiley is a Q dog. So he relates well to that narrative. And then right after he said, oh, she was singing Atomic Dog. How y'all go, you yeah, and then he's like, vote for, yeah, we should go out and vote for Kamala Harris. Brother, what are you doing? She sung a song and you want to go out and vote? Oh my gosh, Miss Curly Girl, thank you for moderating. I see you still on your job. I appreciate that. Ashley Hawkins says, what you got, members? Get it, Ross. Illegal immigrants are receiving jobs over us. They are. Election is next week. I don't believe he will do anything. Now, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, and people will always, ask why people who associate themselves with B1 and also the black media, why do we continue to go hard on the Democrats? Because we understand that the Democrats continue to pander to us. Okay. And I want to open up the lines here in case anybody wants to join me and speak their piece. You can either join with your video or without your video, because you guys may have something to say. You may not agree with me, and that's fine. See, family, if you're Foundational Black America, you're my family, and we can disagree all day. But we have to understand, what is the bigger picture? What is the bigger picture? Do we want to attack Ice Cube, or do we want to read the contract with Black America and comb through that? Do we want to listen to Roly Poly Martin and how he invited Ice Cube on his cast? Then when Ice Cube broke it down that he's not for either political party, Then when he gets off your podcast, you try to defame his character while he's not there, but you didn't do it while the brother was on a podcast. And then you put some lady on there called Alicia Garza, who's married to a trans white female. Now, my goodness, your sexual orientation has nothing to do with it, but I kind of want to know the people that you're laying down with sometimes. He was talking in your ear that's talking away from the talking points. Because it's like Vivica Fox, this chick, Alicia Garza, was like, well, I didn't have death threats. You know, I'm part of the top executive of Black Lives Matter. I have death threats. So Donald Trump ordered his goons, the Proud Boys or the Boogaloo Boys or whatever type of boys you want to name them, to come and kill you. Somebody that nobody knows. That's what Donald Trump did. Listen, family, let's just be realistic. I have no support for either side. But let's talk about the Proud Boys. Someone tells me what the Proud Boys have done physically to hurt and harm Black people. Can anyone tell me? Can anyone tell me what the Proud Boys have done physically to hurt and harm Black people? Here's another question. Can anyone tell me what Donald Trump has done politically to help or to hurt Black people? I'll go both ways with it. Can anyone tell me what has Donald Trump has done politically to hurt or harm Black people systematically? Does anyone know? Okay, now I'm going to give you a trick question. This is a trick question that everybody knows. Can anyone tell me what has Joe Biden done politically to hurt or harm Black people? What has Joe Biden done politically and systematically to hurt or to help Black people? Let me help you out. I can't go with the help part. I don't know anything that Joe Biden has ever done to help. I know that he was with people that were segregating us, which was fine. I didn't care. But he also shows a history of being racist when he's talking about, I don't want those people riding the bus with my kids. There was only one people he was talking about. That was Black people. One, 1986 anti-crime law. Who was it targeted at? Okay, cool. 1994 crime bill. Who was it targeted at? Okay, Black people. The 3-strike law. Who was it targeted at? Black people. Taking away voting rights for felonies. Black people. Black people were getting felonies jaywalking. Black people was getting felony jaywalking. Come on, man. Stop being fooled by these politicians. See, don't let people trump you up. You get it? Trump you. Yeah. Trump you up and tell you that your answers is for and die for you the right to vote. First and foremost, I like to say this. You don't know if your ancestors were doing anything. Your ancestors could be at home eating apple pie. But there were Black people who fought and died for the right to vote. The right. Not that you should. And some lady on my channel the other day, she was like, you got to vote for somebody. No, I don't. Voting has done nothing systematically for Black people. See, the reason why there is a push for Black people to vote is to get Joe Biden and Kamala Harris into office. Because do we understand, family, when Hillary Clinton was running, that Hillary Clinton had majority Black vote? She had 86% of the Black vote, and she still lost. What does that tell you? What that tells you is that the Republicans really don't need the Black vote to win. The Republicans really don't need the Black vote to win. They won without it. See, this is not a popularity contest. Who I like the most? Well, I like Joe Biden the most because he ain't as racist as Trump. Now we're trying to see who we like the most. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this is not about who you like. This is a business transaction. Your vote is a business transaction. When it comes to politics, your voting is the only power that you have. Your voting is the only power that you have. Don't give up your power. Don't give up your power. See, here's the thing. Regardless if the Republicans want the black vote or the Democrats want the black vote, what we need to understand is if we hold our vote and either party loses, listen to this. This is strategy. Okay, I used to be in the military. This is military strategy. If we like, hey, well, we need your help over here. Think about it like this. If the Republicans and Democrats were at war, okay, physical war, if they was at physical war, and they say, hey, you know what? We need some allies. We need some help. I don't think we can beat these guys by ourselves. Hey, go get the African Maroons soldiers, us, black people, right? Let's go get the Maroon warriors. Let's go get them. Okay. And they come to us, they say, hey, we'll need your help, allies. You know what the African warriors are gonna say, right? What you gonna get for us? Are we gonna get gold? Are we gonna get silver? Or are we gonna get land? Ladies and gentlemen, this is basic business. Back in the day, if you read any sort of medieval, English or British history, when they used to go and try to gain allies and fight another, large enemy, they used to say, hey, if you come and fight with us, England used to do it all the time. If you come and fight with us, we'll give you 13 million gold pieces or something. They always offer the other people tangibles. We'll give you gold, silver, and we also give you 100 acres in land, always, to be allies. So if the Democrat want us to be allies with them, okay, if the Republicans want us to be allies with them, then offer us something. And I love this. Not only put it in your plan, set up executive orders so it can get done. Stop trying to pass things through the House and the Senate, right? Because everybody, even black people, are against reparations for black people. I wonder where they're from. Because I know Foundation of Black Americans, they're not against reparations, but there are some people who are against it. That is the issue. So again, if I'm in a battle, there's a battle between the Republicans and the Democrats. The problem is black people are just jumping on the Democrats. Oh, let me go on this side. And now what? What we need to understand, if everybody is telling us that we are a marginalized group, that we have been done the worst, then why can't we get anything for our vote? Why can't we get anything for our vote? Let me go back here. I want to point something out here. I'm teaching today. I don't even care how long I go. I need to get this out of my system right now. I need to get out of my system. I'm tired. I am so tired of this bull crap over and over again that we keep being fooled to. And people, there's been people on the internet pointing stuff out, but I want to point it out. I don't want to play no more games with the contract with Black America, the Lift Every Voice plan, the Platinum plan. I want to get it all out because we as black people, we need to know this stuff. That is the problem. Where are these damn plans at? I'm looking for you, family. Give me a second here. Give me a second, because this is the problem that we keep running into day in and day out. Day in and day out. Let me see. Let me get to it. Give me a second. Joe Biden's plans. I had it up for one moment there. Yeah, his vision. I'm going to show you guys, because I already went over the Lift Every Voice plan. I got to show you this stuff, family. I do. Now, here we go. Let's look at this. Here's a page here, okay? Now, I want to show you. We already went over the Lift Every Voice plan, the plan for Black America. There was a trick bag full of key terms that gave away resources and funding to who? Minorities and people of color, all right? So let's look at two groups where I don't think. See, here's the plan right here, Lift Every Voice plan, the plan for Black America that we went over earlier that had all the minorities and people of color. So let's get into it. Let's scroll down. Because did y'all know that he had all these other plans? Okay, cool. Let's see. We got LG, okay. Going back to the Obama administration, LGBTQ and equality. Okay, they need theirs too. All right. The Catholic community. I don't see the Christian community, but that's okay. I'm not getting on that. The Indian American community. Can we go into this one, family? Can we go into this one? Now, and again, this is not Native Americans. This is East Indians from the people from the country of India. So what I'm going to do, Joe Biden's agenda for the Indian community, what I'm going to do, I'm going to first do something very, very quickly. I'm going to put in the word people of color. Okay? No findings on the word of people of color. Okay. We got people to people ties. That's not people of color. Don't get it twisted. I'm going to type in minority. No, not what about minorities? Not minority. No. So no minorities or minority. That's interesting. That's interesting, Joe Biden. What? No minority or people of color in India, but aren't Indians people of color? Aren't Indians minorities in this country? Oh, okay. Indian Americans of all backgrounds, Hindu, Sikh, Muslim, Jain, and others have been subject to bullying and xenophobic attacks and need now more than ever a reassurance that our leaders in Washington will have their backs. Okay. Restore the American dream for all Americans. Okay. Secure our values as nation of immigrants. Okay. Wow. Streamline process for religious workers, visas, everything for the Indian Americans. Okay. Okay, Indian Americans, you're getting yours. You're getting yours, but I didn't see people of color. Let me look at the word black. Maybe black is in here. Well, I'm sorry, family. Nope, the word black is nowhere in here. Not even the color black, let alone the people black. It's not in the Indian, their little agenda from Joe Biden. You see what I'm getting at, right? I'm breaking it down so I don't have to continue to do this on my channel because I'm tired of people not understanding that we're not getting shit for our vote. But they are. They are. I'm not mad at them. I'm mad at the plan. I'm not mad at the plan for them. I'm mad at our plan that's supposed to be for us, which is a crock of bull crap. Okay? Let's go back into it. The Arab community. The Arab community. The Jewish community. Okay. Okay. Let's look into the Arab community. They might have minority in here. They might. Let's see. Minority. Here we go. And private unfunded minority serving. We got 2 in here. The study and consider alongside other minorities. No tangibles though. See, they use the word minority, but they're not giving that particular portion of it any tangibles, right? I wonder if they start talking about money. There's another community I need to point out too. So again, when they talk about tangibles, they're not talking about minorities. So let's talk about, where's the Jewish community? Here we go. Jewish community. Jewish community. Okay, let's get into this. Let's first look for the word black. No findings. Let's look for people of color. People of color. Nope. And let's look for the word minority. Let's look for it. I got the word minority in here 10 times, it looks like. Uh-oh. We might be on to something, family. Oh, you not spell minority. So I just saw the word minority. I don't not spell it no more. Here we go. Let's look into this. It says targeting Jewish Americans and other minority communities. You see how he singled out Jewish Americans and then said other minorities? I'm just pointing it out to you, family. Let's see what else. You got minorities in here? One time. One time. That's it, family. That's it. People of color, 0 times. Minority, 1 time to describe a problem. To describe a problem, okay? And then we get into the same verbiage as the Indian community. He talks about xenophobic tax. What else? Let's see. A record and a plan of friendship, support, and action. Okay, cool. We talk about white nationalists and anti-Semites, people who are against Jewish people. That's Semites, supposedly. This would have been a Biden administration will do. Lead a cosmic approach to battling anti-Semitism that takes seriously both violence and wait a minute. Was this in the Black American plan that we're going to battle against police brutality and police murders and white supremacy of Black Americans? No, that wasn't in our plan. restore funding for a critical effort to address domestic extremism, which the Trump administration has cut. Okay, I didn't see that in our plan. Joe Biden record of unstinting support for Israel. Joe Biden's record of unstinting support of Black America? No. Because we understand, ladies and gentlemen, the things that you've been hearing about Joe Biden, he hasn't done nothing in 47 years for the Black community. So all of a sudden, he's going to do something now. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you guys got to come and read this stuff. It's a bunch of bull crap. All of these particular plans, and then our plan has minorities 18, 19 times, people of color like 6 or 7 times. But you get into the Arab American community, you get into the Indian American, the Jewish community, you see all these different other communities. You don't see nothing for us, Black Americans. But when you get up here, right? When you get up here, just for the people who just tuning in, I want to show you guys too. Now, lift every voice plan. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. Let's go people of color first. People of color, you see it. And you can look at the top. I know it's small. That says 8 times. Let's circle to them 8 times. People of color will not receive loans. People of color is valued tens of thousands of dollars. People of color, people of color, people of color, people of color, people of color are more likely to live in the most. People of color is everybody. People of color is everybody non-white. Let's look into it. Let's look into it. Maybe I look at minority. We got minority in here 19 times, family. 19 times. Minority owned small business. Minority small business. Minority owned small business. Minority owned firms. Minority business development. Minority owned businesses. Minority business development. Minority owned firms. Where you think all these tangibles going? PPP, largely left out. Minority owned businesses. Minority and women owned businesses. Now he's talking about white women inside of the Black Americans plan. Black Americans plan, we're not a minority when it comes to a plan that you already said Indian American. You put Hispanic Americans got their own plan too. So again, why the term minority and people of color in our plan, right, 19 times, okay, altogether like 28 times. But when I go to the Hispanic one, I see the word minority maybe about 2 or 3 times. I go to the Indian one, I don't see the word minority or people of color. I go to the Jewish one, you say Jewish Americans and minorities, you separate the two. But I keep saying minority. And when you separate something else for white women, why you have a plan with everybody else in it and it's not simply for us? But when we talk about the Jewish community, we're talking about the Indian American community, we talk about the Muslim community, we talk about the Catholic community, we talk about the Hispanic community, we talk about the Asian Pacific Islander community. Everybody has their own plan without the word minority spread across the entire 22-page document that everybody keep liking, saying, oh, Trump is 1 page, Biden is 22 pages. Okay, 1 page of garbage, 22 pages of trash. 1 page of garbage, 22 pieces of trash. All of it's rubbish. All of it's rubbish. Minority. Hear it again. Minority serving institutions to recruit and prepare teachers. Minority serving institutions that will train our next generation. Minority serving institutions, minorities. Minority groups, including African Americans. Ladies and gentlemen, if I haven't said anything else for you to understand why we should be holding our vote for tangibles, this one sentence alone should let you know. You saw the word minority 19 times. You saw the word people of color 8 to 9 times. So let me ask you this, family, because I'm just trying to inform people. I ain't trying to get nobody riled up. I'm just trying to inform people. It says here, community health centers provide primarily prenatal and other important care, and their parents are disproportionately members of racial and ethnic minority groups, including African Americans. Wait a minute, Willis. What are you talking about, Willis? Why all of a sudden did you say including African Americans, but you just said a racial and ethnic minority group. I thought that African Americans were part of the minority in this country. But you said minority groups, then you said including African Americans. Wait a minute, family. Give me a second. I got to think about this. This is disturbing. Are we not a minority? So that mean to tell me that all the 19 times that you were talking about African Americans, you wasn't talking about, I mean, when you were saying African Americans in the bold text, but like this, right? He'll have African Americans up here, right? He'll have it right here, but then he'll have people of color later on when you start talking about money. But now you were saying minority groups, including African Americans. So when you said comma including, when you didn't mention including African Americans, was you excluding African Americans when you were saying minorities? And this is our plan? Interesting. Minority serving. Okay. Listen to this. Invest in diverse talent at historical Black colleges and universities, and the separation again, family. The separation again, family. Minority serving institutions. Wait a minute. So if this is a plan for Black America, first and foremost, why you got the word minority spread across the entire document? Then why do you have the word and? See, when you were young, and if whether you have brothers or sisters, cousins, cousins or whatever, and they say, hey, you and Darnell can have some cookies. You and Darnell can have some cookies. They didn't say, oh, yeah, hey, James, you can have some cookies. Yeah, you can have some cookies, James. But no, they're saying James and Darnell can have cookies. What does that mean? That means that you are sharing your funding, you are sharing your reparations, you are sharing your tangibles with other groups. That is what that means. That is what that means. Anytime I see the word and, it says HBCUs and minority serving institutions. And we're going to give you $20 million, and we're going to give you $20 million, where $40 million should be going to you, but, we got to help out the minorities too. Whoa, wait a minute. So if Hispanics are minorities at 16%, if African Americans are minority at 13.4%, if Asians are minorities anywhere from 6 to 8%, and then you got Arabs and everybody mixed in like 2 or 3%, then aren't all of us the minority because the majority are Hispanics? The majority are white people and white Hispanics and white Arabs that make up that 76%. Interesting. So 2 times I'd explained to you, family, how this is not a plan for Black America. This is a plan for minorities. But then I also show you that all the minorities have their own plan too. Okay. I'm almost done here. Let me just point out one more thing. I'm not going to be reading to you. Here. I just want to point out some things here, family. Let's go over these plans right quickly. Okay. We have, let's see here. Give me 1 second. We got the Catholics. They got a plan for the Catholics. Okay. They got a plan for the Indian community. Okay. We understand that the Indian community is a part of the minority. The Jewish community is part of the minority. Okay. The Latino community, that's part of the minority. Okay. The Arab American community, that's part of the minority. Okay. The Muslim American community, that's part of the minority. Okay. What else? Where's that? We talked about Hispanic. Okay. So they got everybody included in our plan. They have everybody included in our plan. Whoo, Lindell Moore, thank you, brother. I appreciate that. You on code today. I love the funding, man. Believe me, it goes to a great place. He says here, an executive order can make cocaine and crack sentences equal. Obama, Biden never did it. Exactly. My point exactly. Everyone should be hitting the share. Okay, thank you, Miss Curly Girl. We got Mitch in here. He says white women are in the minority category. They are covering all groups. What a great trick bag. Okay, so we got everybody in the trick bag here. Of course we do. We got everybody of the minorities being spread out against everybody. And that is the issue. Okay. And one thing I love to show my family here, we know we beat one up in the chat. Be one up in the chat, but it's always something I like to keep. Where is it at? Give me 1 second, family. I got to show you this because I love playing it anytime I'm about to end the video here when I speak on subjects of this matter. Okay. Anytime I speak on subject of this matter, I got to bring this out because I would like a reminder. I would like a reminder of what's going on. Let's see here. Where is it? Give me 1 second. I'm looking for it. Give me one moment. Man, I can't find it. I can't find it. Thought I had it on my desktop, family. I apologize for that. But I wanted to play this because this is very, very important that I play this. But I played this other video the other day that I want to share with you guys. Okay, because this is essentially how I feel. Okay, this is how I feel when the Democrats and Republicans play black people as fools. And I want to tell you guys this one thing. This is how I feel every 4 years when the Democrats pander to us, when the Republicans ignore us. This is how I feel, but this is how we need to take it. This is how we need to train ourselves to take it. Just bear with me and understand the symbolism and the imagery I'm about to give you of how every year you guys are excited. Every 4 years you guys are excited to vote because you think things are going to change in America and they don't change. This is how it feels, family. I'm about to show you. This is how it feels. Vote for us. Nothing. No tangibles. Nothing. Vote for us. Republicans. Vote for us. Democrats. Get all up in there. Right in the middle. Vote for it. We ain't giving you nothing. Exactly. Exactly my point. That is my point, family. That's how it feels every 4 years when we get nothing in return. When we get nothing in return, that is how it feels. Every 4 years. I'm not trying to persuade anyone not to vote. I'm just informing you why I'm not voting and why you should consider it. Because here's the thing. If we don't apply pressure, and here's the thing, you applying pressure is holding your vote. That's your pressure mechanism. Just hold it. Wait a minute, who gonna do something? How you gonna do it? Let me see the contract. Are you gonna put in executive orders? Let me see the bill. Let me see the signature. See, we can't distrust people no more, family. We can no longer trust people. We have to trust and we need to verify. We need to trust and we need to verify. That is a problem that we've been getting into. We keep thinking voting will save black people. Voting has never saved black people. I tell people, when it comes to political positioning and political power, the only power we have is our vote. Now, when it comes to stopping systemic racism in America, the other part of our power is boycotting. It's boycotting because we don't have any power in the business realm. We don't have Fortune 500 companies where we can marginalize a group ourselves. We don't have that political power. We don't have that business power, economic power. So, but if we boycott a business, we can hurt that business to bend to our will, or they go bankrupt. Or they go bankrupt. Family, we need to understand how these plans don't affect Black Americans. If anything, it undermines us and it disperses diversity when it comes to tangibles and reparations. Now, I usually play my Kamala Harris video of her saying, no, I'm not doing nothing just for black people. I can't find it. I can't find it. But take my word for it, family. For you guys who've been on here more than a minute, you know Kamala Harris said it plainly, and she laughed. She even had a little attitude with it. Are you saying I'm going to do something specifically for black people? No, I ain't doing nothing specifically for black people. I'm not doing nothing for black people only. No, that's what she said. That's what she said exactly. That no, she is not doing nothing specifically for black people. But if I show you on Joe Biden's website how he has done something for those communities, and that is why you don't see the Democratic Party pandering and trying to get the votes of Indian Americans, of Jewish Americans, okay, because they already have their vote, because they already told the Jewish and the Indian Americans what they're going to do for them, and they're doing it. So, family, that's what we need to understand. So, if you want to go ahead and vote, by all means, I just want to help you and keep you informed of why you're voting and that you're getting nothing out of it, and that's the piece of power as a black community that we have. And I remember somebody asked me, a couple of people have asked me this, then you're not going to vote unless there's reparations on the table? Exactly. If everybody else can get something for their vote, then you and I, foundational Black Americans, should get something for our vote. And until then, we shall hold our vote. Because at the end of the day, whatever political party loses, I guarantee next time they're like, hey, we're giving you guys reparations. So I believe that we're probably about 4 years out for reparations. I don't believe any political party is going to do it right now. I don't believe any political party is going to do it right now. But if we don't vote and we let them know that we're serious, if we start to vote, we cave in. We cave into their narrative. We cave into their non-tangibles. We cave into the rhetoric of them demonizing our brother Ice Cube. See, they're using Ice Cube as a proxy to saying that he's teamed up with Donald Trump, and we know that's untrue. We understand that both Republicans and Democrats came to Ice Cube, and the Democrats say, well, we're going to talk about that. What is this whole thing with contract with Black America? And he even said it. He said, we didn't even talk about the contract with Black America, even though we were talking for like 45 minutes. They said, we're going to talk to you after the election. Then there are some people out there who are politically familiar. Okay, they're not politically educated. They're politically familiar. And they say, well, the Democrats don't have any power right now because yada, yada, yada. So why in the world does every president candidate go up during a town hall debate and say, hey, during my first 100 days, I'm going to do this. During my first 100 days, I'm going to do this. Or why do they go to town halls and cater to those people and offer them tangibles? Ladies and gentlemen, you pay for the car before you take it off the lot. You pay for the car before you take it off the lot. You don't take it off the lot and say, pay us when you can. That's how I feel. I feel like we're not going to get anything for our vote, because I read both the Platinum Plan and the Lift Every Voice Plan, not one time, a couple times each. And it's no tangibles for us. They go to everybody else. So one is not better than the other. Hold your vote, family. But if you want to vote for affordable health care for 2 or 3 Black people, go ahead. If you want to vote for education reform in those Democratic and Republican ran down cities that none of the funding go to our high schools and junior highs, and we got torn books and outdated books, then go ahead. The only way to decrease the wealth gap is by reparations, cutting a check. And reparation doesn't include just a check of money. It includes funding for our schools, decreasing the wealth gap between our people, funding healthcare. That all is encompassed in a plan, not this bull crap that they putting up on us, and them using Ice Cube. See, they dangle Ice Cube in the Republican Party to switch and flip the narrative. So they kill the messenger, because if you kill the messenger, you kill the message. You don't have to like Ice Cube. But don't forget, family, let me show you one more thing. Because this is important. This is important. This is what people need to understand about Ice Cube. Some people like to put out that, oh, these entertainers and these rappers, blah, 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 trying to get something out of it. Let me show you something, family. Right here. Let me blow this up for you guys. Ice Cube is worth, according to the Wealth Genius, Ice Cube is worth $160 million. Okay, let's go to Forbes real quick. Forbes says Ice Cube net worth is $160 million. He don't even want reparations. He said he's not getting 1/4. He don't even want it. He said he's doing this for his cousins, his nephews. He didn't say his wife. He didn't say his daughters and his sons. His family is taken care of. That's why he said, I'm doing this for my cousins. I'm doing this for my aunts and uncles. That's what he said. Family, he was on, what's the name of that show? Cocktails with Queens. I want you guys to go look how these Cocktails with Queens was coming in Ice Cube. And for some reason, Vivica Fox had an attitude. Vivica Fox had an attitude like that chick on Roly Poly Martin's show, Alicia Garza, was talking about, I had death threats. There's 40 million foundational Black Americans. You're one person. I don't care about your death threats. See, the problem is our vision gets so minuscule that we're looking at the smaller things. We got to look at the big picture. It's 40 million of us. And all of us needs help in some sort of way, some way or form. And if we continue to let these political powers and political parties flip the narrative on each other, because granted, if Ice Cube would have went to the Democratic Party, then you would have had all those people on Fox News talk bad about Ice Cube too. Now they got rappers writing contract with Black America. Now they got rappers and entertainers and movie stars writing agendas for Black America. This not gonna go well. I can see the headlines now. That's the only thing they need to do to Black people. They pop up a headline. Ice Cube teams up with Donald Trump administration. What? Then Ice Cube had to come back on all these platforms. He's been on Roland Martin's show. He's been on CNN. Then he was going to do one with Don Lemon. Don Lemon said, no, let me go get the coon Charlemagne the God, because Charlemagne the God is now talking about voting for whatever reason. First, he was talking about, hey, Joe Biden, what you going to do for Black Americans? He skipped that. Then they got the Charlemagne the God. I thought Charlemagne the God was on code, but he's not. He's not on code, family. I like the brother. He's a very intelligent brother. But when it comes to these reparations and tangible, you're not on code. Hey, man, no. We got to be on code with this thing. You feel me? We have to. And we're not on code, and we disperse our vote so much, we have no power. We have no political power. So all these people are coming out demonizing, putting out these trick, conflictive, and contradicting headlines. And Ice Cube over and over again has said, I don't affiliate myself with either political party. I'm going with whoever's going to do something for Black Americans. Not immigrants. This is what he said, verbatim. Not Black. He said for Black Americans. Not immigrants, not people of color, not diversity, not urban, foundational Black Americans. That's exactly what he said. Because he understands that we have been the most marginalized group. And specifically, American descendant of slaves. So, family, Ice Cube is not doing this for himself. You know how I know? I have 160 million reasons why he's not doing this for himself. He's putting his money because he had to get economists and educators to put this all together. He didn't write this by himself. He putting his money and his name on the line. And we need to understand, family, when you say that one political party does not have power to do something, I want you to go back and just think every time you heard a politician speak that was running for president, they tell you what they're going to do their first 100 days. When have you heard one of these political figures say, I'm going to tell the American people what I'm going to do for them after they vote? But all those debates, didn't they talk about immigration? Didn't they talk about all those things? Immigration don't include Black Americans, but they're going to do something for immigrants. See, anytime they talk about immigration, they're talking about immigrants. So they're going to do something for them. Nothing for us. But people keep saying, oh, well, the Democrats don't have no power right now, but you can tell us what you're going to do for us. Then you can say, I'm going to put it into executive orders and make sure that it happens. Even if I have to piece executive orders together, I'm going to get it done. That's what we need to understand. How you doing, Cheryl Mills? Glad to see you, sister. That's what we need to understand. We keep trying to wait on the Democrats to give us reparations. Family, they have never gave us reparations. So why don't let people pressure you too. Okay, I've had people over my house question me why I'm not voting. And then when I tell them why I'm not voting, they bring up Donald Trump. This has nothing to do with Donald Trump. Let's not get it twisted. Oh, well, ever since Donald Trump became in office, there's been a lot of racism. And listen, Donald Trump didn't make people racist. People were racist before Donald Trump. Donald Trump didn't make 25% of the country racist. No. Have you noticed a lot of those racists, a lot of those Karens and Brads out there that been fired from their job? Have you noticed that? I'm glad they're coming out. I'm glad all of the races are coming out. I'm glad. They're losing their jobs. They're destroying their families. Go ahead. Come on, keep on coming out. But don't blame the president. Oh, he's a racist. You better look at both of them. You better look at both of them. Okay? Whether it be the Central Park 5 or the 1986 anti-crime drug bill, either way, both of them have their own history of racism. So why? So why, family? That's what I want to get at. Why? Why should you go stand out in line for 5 hours for nothing? I saw people dancing. This is ridiculous. Let me show you one more thing before I get out of here. I gotta go. It really pisses me off that as African Americans, as foundational Black Americans, that we're not smarter than this. That we're not smarter than that. That our mothers and fathers, our grandmothers and grandfathers, they are so far gone. They just believe voting is going to do something. And even when you tell them, what has voting done for you? They can't tell you. Ask them, what has voting done for you? What has voting done for Black people? Let them tell you. They can't tell you. They can't tell you. Give me a second here. What is this right here? He's talking again. He got "Don't Kill the Messenger." Women, did he see my video? When was this? October 11th. Okay. I'm trying to find something, family. Give me 1 second. But let me hear what this brother got to say real quick. Y'all want to hear this really quickly? Let's see what this brother got to say, because he got "Don't Kill the Messenger" too.
Reading a lot of history, trying to understand how systems work, not getting caught up in anybody's rhetoric, but looking for my damn self, and just trying to figure out why we continue to, flounder at the bottom. What is it? And what I found is that it's systems in place, as we all know. It ain't because, we ain't doing what we supposed to do as Black people, because, of course, we all can do better. There's shit that we need to do to clean up ourselves and our community. But besides that shit, the system is fucked up. It's just designed totally. And not only designed, but there's a dedication to keeping us at the bottom of this country. And I don't know if we can count on any parties to get us about the shit, to be honest. So we are going to have to do a lot of things different as a Black community. We have to pool our resources. We have to think about ourselves. We love all the other races of the world, but at some point we got to figure out how do we get ahead, because everybody's on top of us but us, or everybody's on top but us. And the shit ain't gonna work. We ain't gonna survive this the way it's going. It's just designed that I can't see the future. So we gotta change this shit. Everybody's been mad at me because I haven't been on the fucking, the gravy train of these candidates, especially Joe Biden and Harris. I don't trust none of them. No president has done right by us. So I don't trust none of them. So putting our hopes and dreams behind any of them just don't work. We gotta make them do what we want them to do. And there's only a few ways to do that. Now, I've been making contacts.
Good point, Alfonso Morris. Very good point and very good information.
Issues,
that's true.
Straight up, I believe the Democrats they've been nice. They've been cordial, so to speak. I don't really see them pushing their policies in any different direction. They're still talking this minority, people of color shit that don't necessarily include us. That don't necessarily include Black Americans, especially descendants of slaves. ADOS, American descendants of slaves. That ain't specifically us. It's everybody. We ain't gonna get shit. Because when you look around, everybody hates us. So we still at the bottom of that. So, I think the Democrats, they got every Black celebrity and shit on their team. So they just figure, tell Q to shut the fuck up and vote. And so.
Yeah, tell Q shut the fuck up and vote.
I'm going to push the program. We got a program. I'm pushing it on everybody. We also met with the Republicans and shit. They brought us in. We talked to them. They've moved their agenda a lot because of what we said. They put $500 billion on the table, but who knows? Who knows what's gonna really happen? I just know one of them gonna win, and I don't know if it can really matter to us. We gotta just push whoever is in there because ain't nobody really solved our problems. People say we can't take another 4 years of this. Black people, we could take anything. Shit.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I just had to share that with you guys because a lot of us are just really uninformed on, where Ice Cube stands. And he told you, neither political party. We keep falling for the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like we need to understand where Ice Cube is at with this particular agenda of his. And again, even the name of his video was called Don't Kill the Messenger. I didn't even get mine from Ice Cube. I was just thinking about it, how we're going after Ice Cube while the message is being killed. We're killing the messenger, and in killing the messenger, we kill his message. What is the contract with Black America? Okay? And that's what we need to understand. That is a problem. And I was trying to find a tweet he wrote, and he said, fact. I'm looking for that one. This will show you guys so I can get out of here, because I want you guys to see it from his own mouth, okay? And look at this piece right here. Let me show you this. I'm on his Twitter feed. Let me show you this. Look at this. When they want something, look. So the powers that be canceled my interview on Como Primetime tonight. I've actually been banned from CNN for a few months, so I was surprised they even asked, but it seems like they can't handle the truth, okay? Ice Cube once said ever, do you remember? He said, I will never endorse a motherfucker like Donald Trump ever. She said, and then he put up here, that's what this person posted, I haven't endorsed anybody, okay? That was back in August 2016, and this is him responding to that. She reposted on October 15, and he said, I haven't endorsed anybody. So he had to kill that in the bag. He said, Black progress is a bipartisan issue. When we created the contract with Black America, we accepted to talk to both sides of the aisle. Talking truth to power is part of the process. Okay, bipartisan. This showing you guys that he's not leaning. And here's what I was looking for. Right here. Let me see if I can blow this up anymore. Let me get out of here. Facts. This is from Ice Cube. I put out the contract with Black America. Both parties contacted me. Them said we'll address the contract with Black America after the election. Trump campaign made some adjustment to their plan after talking to us about the contract with Black America. That is it. That is it. Okay? And a lot of through these posts, listen to this. I will advise anybody on the planet who has the power to help Americans close the enormous wealth gap. Very, very neutral. You understand? So let's not call our brother Ice Cube a sellout, a turncoat, a Sambo, or nothing. He is for Black Americans and for Black Americans only on this one. Okay? Ice Cube rejects idea Trump's using him, challenges Biden. Want to share this video from Boyce Watkins too, okay? And this is the last one I'll share with you guys of his tweets, okay? Here, when I got bus to school, homies called me a sellout. They're like, oh man, you old bitch ass sellout ass nigga, you up there riding the bus. Then when I started rapping in 1983, the bangers called me a sellout because he was a banger. Like, oh, you rapping ass nigga, man, you sellout, man. Then when I left NWA, they called me a sellout because he was biffing with Eazy-E and the producer. Oh man, he a sellout. We ain't never like Ice Cube anyway. You ain't writing my raps no more. When I started doing movies, rappers called him a sellout. You ain't right, man. You doing movies? Oh man, you a sellout, bro. Then when he started his 3-on-3 basketball league, the arena said it was a sellout. So like he said, you won't call me a sellout? Yeah, I'm a sellout. I sell out arenas. But again, Ice Cube, our brother, our friend, our Foundation of Black America, American has always been on code, ladies and gentlemen, and that is it. Let me read some of your notes and I'll get out of here. I thank you for all of you staying with me as long as you have, okay, as long as you have. It's been about an hour and a half roughly. I just want to go back and read some of your notes in case I miss anything. Alfonso Morris says, at Cheryl Mills, what's the better offer? We only got a few more elections where the black vote will count. Okay, but it doesn't matter, Alfonso. I don't know. I'm not saying that you're speaking against it, but does it matter? Does it matter if our vote counts or not if we're not ever getting anything? That's the point I'm making. Let's see here. I'm tired of celebrities being our spokesperson. Okay. We're supposed to wait on Dems to come up with reparations. They won't come up with it. Lindell Moore says, our people are so easily fooled. We must study history and political science. We must. Cheryl Mills, we need to clear the air for black people. Exactly. Biden offered nothing to us the first 100 days. He was specific on everything else. He was. She said, I thought they impeached him. Yeah, right. That's a joke. Cheryl Mills, because they look down on black people, we're not supposed to make our own decisions of the future. And that's right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with me as long as you did. If you guys, please give me a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, I encourage you to subscribe, where I get financial information and every time some political rhetoric, okay? But I like to show proof to power. See, all these people with mass media, they have power of influence. And it takes people of the black media, people that like myself, I can't really say I'm part of the black media, but I'm in support of the black media. People like the Black Authority, Professor Black Truth, Dr. Boyce Watkins, TD Hip Hop and Media, people like that, CWBA, people like that that's really on Coach Tariq Nasheed. I'm in support of those brothers. So every now and again, I'll get on here and I do some non-financial information. But at the end of the day, we're talking about money. We're talking about funding, resources, and tangibles, okay? So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to read this last note by Alfonso Morris, and I'm going to get out of here. Yeah, MLK Jr. was miseducated and lost to an identity. I read, where do we go from here? KSR community, he wanted us to be brothers in a part of society that was never going to happen. Well, he was on the forum at the time. I'm not going to speak up for Martin Luther King. He's not here, but I understand your perspective, brother. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me as long as you have. Yeah, they love you if they whoop your butt. Exactly. I'm going to go ahead and get off of here before I get in some old good trouble, okay? This is Financial Literacy 101. Learn money and be inspired. You guys hit the thumbs up button on the way out. And make sure you share and like this video on all your social media. I'm out.